Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2.
All right, welcome back, fans. Game 3 of 3 here in Tempe, Arizona, and it is definitely a lot hotter than it was this morning, Craig. I think we're definitely pushing up in the high 90s at this point here on the field. But last game of the day, we've got the WWLL rivals here, Grand Canyon, taking on Arizona State in a preseason matchup here. We had Fort Lewis visiting from Durango in these first two games. Fort Lewis getting the win against ASU early on after an early lead by ASU, and then coming out strong with a dominating performance against Grand Canyon. And now GCU and ASU facing off, these Division I rivals.
Earlier today, Chris, it said on my phone that it was 72 degrees, and I kept wondering where, because it felt like it was 100 something around here, so it must have been 72 somewhere in the airport. Now my phone says it's 94, so my guess is sitting here on the artificial turf field, it's definitely 100 plus. So it'll be an interesting challenge for the GCU Lopes, because they just played the game before. So yes, there is an hour difference where they can rest up between the two, but I would fully expect that they're going to have some issues potentially in the second half. The Arizona State Sun Devils admittedly changed their uniforms from Game 1 to Game 3, as they were wearing the black in Game 1. They're now wearing white uniforms in Game 3. So I fully believe that both benches are going to be used extensively in this game. It's interesting the way both of the coaches talked before the game. Is at ASU, they really just wanted their team to be able to play hard, play well, and have fun. And they wanted to be able to just learn to play together as a team. Those were their primary things. But for GCU, there were some specific things that they wanted to work on. It had nothing to do with winning the game. It had nothing to do with the goals. There were just some specific objectives that they had worked on as a team, and they also wanted to be able to make sure that some of their players got the opportunity to play different positions so they can be able to learn more of what happens on the field. So we'll see how well that happens. Is GCU actually played well in their match against a very strong team from Fort Lewis. So anyway, we're getting ready for the new start.
All right, and again, we'll be playing 4 15-minute quarters here on a running clock, so clock's not going to stop. I think these officials today and these teams have had about all they can take out on the field. So it'll be interesting to see how the pace of this game goes. You know, these are rival teams. They do tend to come out strong, and these games are usually characterized by a lot of physicality. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see, especially as we get into the second half, how these teams hold up here throughout the end of this afternoon.
It is always funny, whenever you talk about traditional rivals, it doesn't matter if it's cross-town rivals, cross-state, brother, sister, immaterial. You try to tell them that, well, this game doesn't matter. It's just a scrimmage. I don't think that flies too well. Is they might think that when things start, but once the adrenaline starts pumping, you know darn well both teams are going to be putting in 100% and giving it everything that they can. Definitely.
Well, teams are set to go here. This draw is about to pick up, and of course, Craig, as we talked about earlier, these officials also training here today, getting their level 3 certification so that they can officiate collegiate games. And looks like Riley Wilson with the Sun Devils able to come and pick up this first draw win for ASU. But swiftly turns it over to the Lopes on a errant pass, and right back into the stick of Taryn Gleish. Got a whistle back at the midfield, green card.
Chris, for those who were not with us before, why don't you explain what a green card means for this game?
Yeah, so again, you know, these players here at the college level get a green card, and the freshmen will be learning this as a new thing, difference from high school. But if you get a physical foul in the midfield, you could take a green card and a 1-minute penalty off field. That's something different from the high school level. And we see we've already got the first one here. And I will say there's a little bit of a controversial rule change. There was definitely some college teams not happy when that rule went into effect a couple seasons back, worried that it would really slow down the game and just extend the time. And a nice feed across, tearing Gleesh. Getting ASU on the board first.
That certainly didn't take long, Chris. ASU got on the board quickly and early. So with the early score, 1-0, we do have the time up on the screen. We'll try to keep you updated. Unfortunately, the time is across the screen, or it's across the field from us, and the scoreboard is rather small, and in this bright sunshine, we just cannot see what it says. So we'll try to be able to keep you updated as close as we can, and we try to keep the score available to you on the screen.
And Gleesh with a great start here, gets another draw control for the Sun Devils. Feeds over to Bree Gardner, up to Kelsey Penta. And new to the team this year, Karina Velez, coming over here on, I believe, her junior year, transferring over from Fairleigh Dickinson. I believe they're Division II. It could be Division I. I can't remember, but has been playing at the NCAA level, transferred over to ASU, but a local player here, played on the Puerto Rico national team, and definitely a great addition to the Sun Devils squad. Wilson not quite able to handle the feed, ball down, and this GB picked up by the Lopes, but right back. Wilson right in there. And so far, Sun Devils really with some great ball control. What a look, and Taryn Gleesh is having a game.
Absolutely. Makes the score 2-0, Sun Devils. The ball has been down at that end of the field the entire game so far. So it's gotten off to a fantastic start for the Sun Devils.
And I'll tell you, if I'm Coach Ramirez, right now my top concern is stopping number 33 on ASU.
Well, one of the things that's obvious for the Sun Devils is they're having an awful lot of player movement. Player movement really is the key to this game. It's a substantial change from the high school game where a lot of one-on-ones can be done, where a single player really can dominate. That just can't happen here at the club level or at any other level in college lacrosse. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and players definitely get hot and they go on runs, but teams adjust quickly. So, you know, and that's when you start relying on the next weapon up. Caroline Kelly on the draw here for ASU against Breely Caffey, number 5 for GCU. Bree goes down. This win by the Sun Devils over to Velez.
Once again, the ball is back down here at the north end of the field, being defended by GCU. So all of the time of possession right now is with the Sun Devils. The Sun Devils are taking it around the far side, now moving it to the near side of the field.
With 5 minutes elapsed, Craig, GCU is still looking for their first offensive possession. Velez cuts in, has the ball checked out, ground ball.
GCU finally is able to pick it up.
And Seaman loses the cradle for GCU. Picked up by Gardner on the Sun Devils. Up to Penta. Cuts through.
Oh my, a shot was taken on the play. Let's see what the referees have blown their whistle. Let's see what the call is.
See, the goggles come off. It might just be the goggles coming off, Craig. They do have to stop that for safety. So it looks like Kelsey Penta going to get the free position restart on the 12-meter. Nice knockdown here by the Lopes.
By the way, fans, for those who were with us for the last game, we do have a quick update for the goalie for the Skyhawks, Abigail Lighty. She was taken to the hospital.
Kaylee Lee, sorry, just to correct you there, Craig, number 31.
Oh, thank you. Correction, number 31. Kaylee Lay, that is correct. Kaylee Lay. Kaylee Lay was taken to the hospital for observation reasons. No other reason. There was potential concussion issues. However, her parents, everybody, does not seem worried again. It was just for purely precautionary measures. So everything seems okay at this point, and which was fantastic news.
Claire Mertzliff fires a rocket, nails the top left corner. Putting ASU up 3-0.
The Sun Devils have been off to a fantastic start with a 3-0 lead. So far, GCU has not had the ball in the Sun Devil end of the field. So it's really important that they win this face-off at this point and get something turned around here towards the end of the first quarter.
And again, if there's any Fort Lewis fans still watching here, just as an update on that game, again, that's number 31, Kaylee Lee. And then after the game, also number 10, Zoe Delgado, was also taken out for concussion protocol and taken an ambulance to the hospital. So both those players being checked out on a precautionary measure before heading back to Durango. And of course, we wish both of them the best and hope the injuries aren't too serious.
Player safety is paramount within this league and any league, so we're grateful to everybody that was able to assist. But once again, the Sun Devils take it.
Caroline Kelly getting the draw control this time for the Sun Devils, but the ball sailing out the back end. And Lopes with a really critical transition here and looking good so far.
And the Lopes finally do cross midfield, but they turn it over.
Yeah, not quite able to clear that restraining line, but still got a battle here. Lopes picking it up.
Finally picked up by Layla Cates. So the Lopes set it up on offense.
Looking for a feed behind the cage.
I heard the whistle, but I wasn't able to catch the call. Did you see the call, Chris?
Did not, but looks like Bree Caffey's out on the hanging hash here. Right side of the cage, and you know, when we say right and left, we do that through the goalie's perspective. That's kind of the typical protocol in lacrosse, so it'll be kind of the opposite of how you see it on the camera, but Bree Caffey, midfielder, fighting for the ball. Taryn Gleesh comes in, fighting for it, looking for a feed. Now Mertzliff settles down, looks to dodge.
But it looks like it's taken away by Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bonafede playing some great defense there against Mertzliff. I'm starting to see GCU match just the physicality and intensity here of this ASU team. Seaman working across, gets it over their straining line, has to back up. And great job protecting her stick. Layla Cates takes advantage there. But loses credit. Oh, checked right back out and into the stick of Savannah Sanas in the cage here for the Sun Devils.
Savannah being cautious as her teammates are being checked here in the back of the field.
Devils in transition. Takes the shot. Oh, deflected, but still stings the top left corner.
Absolutely. A wonderful shot there.
And Claire Mertzliff getting number 2.
That makes the score 4. Sun Devils 4. Grand Canyon nothing.
Yeah, 2 off of Taryn Gleesh, now 2 off Claire Mertzliff. So both of them having a great game here. GCU still looking for that first opportunity. Just under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
Once again, fans, the clock is running. We're not stopping the clock while goals are scored or at any other point except for the last 2 minutes of the half of the game.
Kelsey Pintus showing the speed. She gets this draw win.
Nice catch made by number 29, Kaya Nurse. And she draws a penalty against Grand Canyon.
Tristan Milkey in the cage for the Lopes. Looking for that bounce shot, but great save by Milkey.
Not much longer left in the first half. Let's see if the Sun Devils can get one more before the quarter is over.
Ooh, it's the right look, but oh.
That ball was about as close to being in as it possibly could be.
That was so close. Goalies hate that. You know, you stop it, and then you just tap it with your stick or your foot, and you end up with an own goal. But here we got another opportunity, and Bree Gardner just not quite able to pull in that pass. Would have had a shot right on the doorstep. Out of bounds off the Devils, so Lopes now with a transition, but only got 6 seconds to work with here. Probably not enough time. That's intercepted anyway. It looks like Wilson pulling that ball out of the air. Nice snipe.
That's the end of the first quarter of play. With the score, Sun Devils 4, Grand Canyon 0.
I'd like to take this opportunity for Sun Devils fans. Support your team. You can donate now. Sun Devils Women's Lacrosse, Club Lacrosse here looking for support. And of course these teams often self-funded with limited support from the school. And you know, they've got a lot of travel, tournaments, and other things. So if you are a Sun Devils fan, like to support your team, you can scan the QR code on screen here or head on over to the link there. We'll try to get that link over in the chat as well for you here. But we'll leave that up for just a moment here during the break. And again, ASU Sun Devils fans, chance to support your team this season, and they would certainly appreciate your donation.
We'll be putting up similar information for the GCU Lopes shortly. And Chris, the Sun Devils did get off to a fantastic start here in the first quarter, getting off to a 4-0 lead, dominating time of possession. The Lopes did start to turn that around towards the end of the first quarter. And again, I do think that this is going to be a day of attrition. It's going to wind up being who's got the deepest bench and who's going to be able to make the other team move more is going to wind up having the advantage today. You know, given the temperature, given the overall atmosphere here at the game today. Thing that you found that was interesting kind of in between games, as you see locally, is in an open environment such as this, as anybody was running to corners of the field just to be able to find whatever shade they possibly could. And you can see the players now across the field underneath their tents trying to be able to remain shaded, get as hydrated as they possibly can. As the whistle sounds to be able to have the team come out for the second quarter. Again, before the game, both of these coaches openly said their primary thing that they wanted to be able to get done was have their players have fun so they can build teamwork, build camaraderie, and also both teams are carrying a number of freshmen on the squad, especially the Arizona State Sun Devils, is they have over 50% of their team are freshmen. So it's how to be able to incorporate all of these new faces into your team. But both of these teams accomplished an awful lot last year and are hoping to be able to go further this year. Wouldn't you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, certainly. I think, it's always new teams coming out, right? A lot of new freshmen here on both these teams, but you of course always want to try to build and improve off where you were last year, and teams do sometimes find themselves on the flip side of that cycle where you're in a rebuilding year, especially if you lose a lot of really talented seniors. But I think for both these teams, they certainly did lose some talent last year, but I think both are in a really good position to maintain a strong run. Again, both these teams making it into the WCLA National Championships, which will be held again this year, but in Wichita, Kansas. And that's really the goal here, right, is you want to win the WWLL championship, but even if you don't win that, you can still get an at-large bid into that WCLA. Sounds like there's an illegal substitution. So typically, I believe the rule is once the player's hands are being set by the official, and certainly if the official has taken their hands off the sticks, but I think once they're set, you can't substitute anymore. So it looks like ASU had a late substitution there, which awards possession automatically over to the Lopes. And really, they need a break here, and this might be it.
Chris, you were talking about both teams last year, and GCU made the conference finals, or semifinals, correct me, in the conference tournament. The Sun Devils made the conference finals. Didn't these teams both play in the semifinals last year?
Last season, and boy, you're testing my memory here. I know they, of course, played, and I think ASU got the win. But GCU still had a very strong performance in the championships.
Oh, without a doubt. As GCU beat San Diego State, which helped get GCU their best finish ever. And if memory serves me correctly, I think GCU then played ASU in the semifinals, to then where ASU played a phenomenal game against UCLA and lost in the conference finals by 1 goal. But then all of those teams made the
WCLA.
The WCLA tournament.
Yep. Yeah, it was a great showing here for the WWLL for sure. GCU making it in for the first time, ASU making it in again, and UCLA, you have to give a shout out to them. They actually went and won the whole thing. They beat Northeastern and were actually the national champions last year. And I'd have to go check the record books, but I don't know the last time a WWLL team ever won the national championship. And wouldn't even surprise me if that was the first time. But great representation of West Coast lacrosse here, and big shout out to UCLA and both these teams on the field here, ASU and GCU, putting out great performances last season. And of course, as you say, Craig, all these teams looking to build on that success in the coming season.
Well, GCU had one of the better wins last year when they knocked off Brigham Young. The day after Brigham Young had beat Boston College, which had been undefeated for over 2 years, if memory serves me correctly. Wasn't it over 30 games in a row that Boston College had won? Then BYU beat them, and then GCU came out and beat them the very next day.
Yeah, a close game, but it just shows that they're leveling up their play, and they're playing with the more competitive Division I teams and some of these top teams here from the other half of the country. So great to see here, and let's see what they can do here to get on the board in this game.
Well, thankfully, both of these teams, both teams have some substantially strong freshmen, and that'll just continue to increase. Is because here in the Valley and throughout the state of Arizona, women's lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports there is. And shot was taken, nice save by the GCU goalie.
Mertzliff fired that one right into the stick of Milky. And Bree Caffey now working upfield, gets fouled in the midfield. Looks like we'll probably get a green card on that, and that's going to send Taryn Gleesh off for 1 minute.
Once again, fans, green cards are unlike yellow cards, where they don't keep track of how many green cards a player gets, and it doesn't make things such as a yellow card, where if you get a certain number, suddenly you have to be able to stay in regardless if the goal is scored or not. So the green card is still something new that many of the players, especially freshmen, are getting used to.
Yeah, and the call on that was illegal use of stick from the official there. So that's what sent Gleesh off for the minute. But ASU has possession back, even though they're player down here.
It looks like a green card is about to be issued against
Westy
GCU.
Westlake. So Bree Gardner now.
So teams will be at even strength here for a few seconds. Then Arizona State will have an advantage for just a moment.
And had a great look on the top there, but wasn't quite able to get that pass on target, and Lopes take advantage, getting it right back.
Out of curiosity, Chris, what would be your opinion for when both teams are down a player? Is that more an advantage to an offense or to a defense?
I don't think I could say either way. I think if it's even, it's even. It's surprising how many times even teams, when they're player down, are scrappy and they get possession and they even get scores and points on the board even as a player down. So it's really hard to say. Sometimes the advantage isn't as big as you think. These teams do practice on how to play in player down situations, so they know how to handle those situations, and they adjust on the fly. And sometimes you almost can't even tell that they are at a player down disadvantage.
It is interesting. It seems almost counterintuitive sometimes, as you would think that being a player down for both teams opens up the field, so you'd expect a little more offense, but it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Nice pass up to the midfield here.
I believe both penalties were over at that point, but now a yellow card has been issued against number 3 for the Sun Devils. That's Kelsey Pinto, being set off for 2 minutes. That'll be the first yellow card against the Sun Devils.
So that'll be a 2-minute releasable penalty.
And Chris, for the fans
And
that don't know,
GCU
why don't you describe what releasable means?
Yeah, we'll take a look at that here in a little bit more, but just means if GCU were able to get a goal, they would release that yellow. Got a timeout. Fans getting a little worked up here, a little sensitive to the whistles, Craig. But yeah, it looks like ASU got the ball, got a timeout.
Yep.
And I imagine brand new head coach, we hadn't talked about that yet, but new head coach Jason Siddell over there probably trying to calm his team down a bit here, starting to get a little physical on the field. Now they're player down on a yellow, and probably going to try to hold this ball a bit while they got possession, get themselves back to even strength. Especially, they got a 4-0 lead here. No need to try to force this one to the cage. Play smart ball, get the penalty released, and work on really trying to minimize these penalties. And this is really a key focus area for the teams here preseason, is playing clean. The penalties, you just can't afford them when the regular season comes. So this is an opportunity to really take a look at that level of play and try to dial it back a little bit if it's starting to get to the point where it's impacting the team in a negative way.
Well, it's not what he's looking for. Remember, his objectives were play hard, play well, have fun. Those were the three objectives that he listed for the game. And it's easy, though, in a rivalry game to kind of get tied up with that, scrimmage or not. And that can get emotions going high and so forth. And oftentimes that can lead to penalties, that can lead to frustrations, especially when it's 100 degrees outside. So you do need to settle your team down, kind of remind them what's important, remind them what they're really here for. Take some of those emotions out of the game and say, look, let's just go back to playing well and having a good time, and just don't let things get under your skin. Don't let things outside the game influence the game. As I said, easier said than done for us sitting here on the sidelines versus being out there on the field against one of your rivals that's doing everything they can to beat you. But that said, it's what every player needs to learn how to do.
8:13 on the clock, so they are stopping the clock here for the timeouts. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get them back on the field. Neither team seems to be in a rush here, Craig. I think they're trying to enjoy the break a little bit.
Well, I think
get
there's
some water.
A minute 45 or so, minute 45 to a minute 30 that will be left in the penalty. So I agree with you. Is I think one of the strategies here will be just, okay, how can you be able to hold on to the ball for an extended period, try to be able to kill the remainder of that penalty, and then go back to playing good smart lacrosse. But after a rash of scoring in the first quarter, because the Sun Devils scored 2 goals within the first couple of minutes of the game, scoring has slowed down some, and GCU has definitely picked up their pace of action.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've done a lot of these GCU ASU matchups. I don't expect the physicality to come down much. You want to play smart, clean ball, but I expect the intensity to stay up there between the two teams here.
You see it among state rivals in every sport. It has been that way for forever, and it will continue to be, and you will not be able to take that energy out of the players, that's for sure. All you can try to do is remind them.
So getting set up here, Taryn Gleesh going to have the ball for ASU on the restart. Finds an open Caroline Kelly. Facing a tough ride here from the Lopes. Able to feed it up.
Chris, this might be another good time. Is one of the things which is different about the club leagues versus the non-club leagues is there is no shot clock in these club leagues. And in situations like this, when you're trying to be able to kill a penalty, that can make a substantial difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good call out, right? If you're, and of course Fort Lewis has left the scene, but if you were playing NCAA, you wouldn't be able to just hold on for the full duration of a 2-minute yellow card because you got a 90-second shot clock that only resets to 60 if you get a shot off. But indeed, it does seem like what we kind of guessed at there, Craig. ASU not looking to drive to cage here. Looks like they're just going to hold on and run out this time. Just kind of pass around the outer perimeter and just try not to turn the ball over and give GCU that opportunity. And like everything else in the fall ball, this is a chance for both teams to practice, what you would do in a regular season game in a player up situation or a player down situation. Wilson there, and Caroline Kelly does see an angle she likes and takes the shot, but Milky able to make a nice high to low save.
Well, the goalie pass out. It looks like, yes, it has been controlled by the Sun Devils, so it's turnover by Grand Canyon.
Gleish has the angle. And there's a hat trick for Taryn Gleish.
Fans are throwing hats on the field for a hat trick.
They actually are. We can show you here proof on the camera.
Third goal of the game by Taryn Gleish. And as we said, some of the Sun Devil fans were throwing their hats on the field for a hat trick.
I think that's the first hat trick we've actually had today, Craig, out of all 3 games.
I would agree with that. One of the things which was wonderful about the first couple of games is several players were scoring. Is at most, I think, maybe 2 or 3 players had 2 goals. So it was great to see, and I think that accomplished the objectives a lot of the coach had, which was trying to be able to get all of their players involved and getting them involved in different positions.
So you got Riley Wilson.
That said, I'm sure Taryn Gleish is very happy to get the hat trick.
Certainly. You got Riley Wilson against Bree. Caffey here again on the draw. Nikki Terry almost had it, and GCU fighting hard for it. Penta back in the game. That yellow's been released, but Nikki Terry now, number 25, gets cross-checked by Caroline Kelly. And you can see Lopes being very careful here, Craig. Really trying to find the back of the net on this possession.
Absolutely. The Lopes are starting to have some more off-the-ball movement towards the net. But yes, they're being very patient and looking for the right opportunity.
Well, you see them keeping it wide here. Space tends to favor the offense. And, once they all get bunched up inside the 8, it gets hard to find those angles. This shot backed up by Jocelyn Keith.
One thing to remember is all it would take is 1 goal by the Lopes, because a 5-goal lead in Lacrosse can vanish in a big hurry if you can be able to get the momentum. The issue is getting that first goal to get it started.
That feed inside, broken up, picked up by Terry, finds the angle. Nikki Terry finally breaks the silence, gets GCU on the board.
Absolutely. Maybe that's the break that GCU needed, as it makes the score 5-1.
.230 to play here in the second. And I think that's huge for GCU, Craig. They be able to go into the half here and have something
GCU
on the board.
can pick up another goal, especially here by the end of the half. That'll give them an incredible amount of momentum. But you can already see some of the fatigue setting in for both teams after the goals. Is oftentimes people are at least jogging back to midfield. You saw both teams slow. Okay, this is Craig Stevens back with you live. Here at the start of the third quarter, we've had some technical issues, as you obviously are aware, but the score currently is ASU 5, GCU 2, here at the beginning of the third quarter.
Yep, apologies there, fans, for the technical error, but we were able to get back just here as the second half is getting underway. Jump shot there for Riley Wilson.
So Riley Wilson gets her first goal of the game, making the score Sun Devils 6, GCU 2. We hope we've got our technical issues solved, and we're hopefully being with you here for the rest of the game. We weren't sure if you were here with us at the very end of the first half, but towards the very end of the half, GCU scored a goal, making it 5-2. Sun Devils just opened up here in the third quarter, making it 6-2.
13 minutes on the clock. We won't be able to show you the clock, unfortunately, for the rest of the game, but we'll make sure that we give you time updates as we go. Nice grab by Caffey.
It's interesting how this half's kind of started out as the first half. Is Arizona State really dominated the first quarter of play, especially within the first 5 minutes. Then GCU really played even and started taking over things towards the end of the second quarter. But here in the third quarter, the Sun Devils have opened up strongly, so let's see if this half follows the direction of the first. But already that's not the case, as GCU has the ball at the ASU end, which didn't happen at all for the first 5 minutes of the game.
The Lopes looking good so far here.
The Lopes have a very strong energy level right now. You can tell they are pushing. They do not want to lose to their crosstown rivals.
Well, too much extension there from Gleish, so she's going to have to go 2 meters behind, and Caffey on the restart for the Lopes.
The Lopes are on the south side of the field, which actually is more of the Sun side of the field. So the Lopes will be going more into the Sun this third quarter. The Sun Devils will be going into the Sun the fourth quarter.
Man, Kelsey's Penta's speed is something else. The way she raced in for that ground ball, really impressive. And now cutting across, looking for the shot, and doesn't like the first one, waits for something better.
That's Kelsey Penta, scoring her first goal of the game, making it 7-2. But no, you're absolutely right, Chris. She didn't like the first shot, pulled it back, and I think that faked out the goalie a little bit, and then was able to fire it by. Pretty obvious, fans, you can be able to tell. We have the Sun Devil fans sitting to our left. We have the GCU fans sitting to our right. So you can pretty well tell when one team or the other scores, that's for sure. As earlier in the game, a bunch of the Sun Devil fans threw out their hats for Taryn Gleesh for her hat trick that she had in the first quarter of play. Sun Devils again win the draw.
Ball
Down
check.
the near side is Westy Westlake. Looked like a check was called there, Chris.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have a free position shot for Brianna Gardner.
Bree looking for her first goal today. And she gets it.
Yeah, way to show some patience there coming in. And able to find the right spot to place.
So that makes the score Sun Devils 8, Lopes 2. The Lopes definitely need something here to be able to, again, stop that ASU momentum. But, you know, it is kind of starting like the way the first half did, is within a very short period of time, is the Sun Devils have put up 3 quick goals to lengthen their lead back to 6. Matter of fact, 6 is the largest lead they've had today.
8 minutes on the clock in the third.
And again, folks, it is a running clock today. So even on scores and anything else until the last 2 minutes, with the exception of stopping the clock for the quarter break, the clock will be running.
What a grab by Wilson there, looking for the pass to Mertzliff. She's able to keep it in bounds. Nikki Terry takes advantage. Oh, no, sorry.
O'Reilly definitely being able to use her size to be able to pick that ball out of the air.
Yeah, Brooke Bonafede is who I meant there, taking advantage for GCU.
I'll be telling my wife.
That's a shot and a goal by number 35, Nicole Galea, for Grand Canyon.
Yeah, great look there. And feed on the inside, gets the shot and goal.
She's a freshman from Yorba Linda, California. So one of the many freshmen that are playing for both of these teams today. She's looking to be able to get her name in there for some playing time for the upcoming season. Again, for GCU, not only were they strong last year and they're looking to be strong this year, they really are building for the future, Chris, because GCU only has 3 seniors in their lineup, so the lineup really is dominated by sophomores and juniors and sprinkled in with a number of freshmen. As we talked about before, ASU is loaded on the freshman side with over half of their staff are freshman players.
So officials saw something they didn't like there, Craig. That might have been early entry by ASU.
That would be the second time, I believe, that was called today, Chris.
And Riley Siegel just...
There's been 2 issues off the face-off where Suddenly, possession went to ASU or GCU because of an ASU infraction. That would be something the coach will work on, because you just can't have those kinds of unforced errors come the regular season, especially given the lineup that ASU is going to have to face during the regular season this year.
So, check to the head being called on Taryn Gleish. She'll head out for 2 minutes on the yellow.
Timeout has been called.
That's interesting. Yeah, but the Sun Devils don't have the ball, so I don't know if they can. So I think they're going to resume play. You have to have possession.
Did the player go off for the yellow card? I thought I saw her going off, but then I thought I saw her coming back on. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah, no, so I think refs got this one right. Got the yellow on ASU, Taryn Gleish, and GCU with the ball. Brooke Bonifay dumps it off back at X.
Oh no, if there's a choice between me getting it right and the refs getting it right, believe me, the refs are right 99.999% of the time. That's the reason they're getting their certification and I'm sitting here.
Look inside. What a great save.
We do have a change in goalie for the Sun Devils. Is now in goal is number 15, Mala Kahan.
Yeah, Kahan just great back-to-back saves there. Looking really comfortable in the cage.
I believe GCU still has a player advantage, but not for much longer.
Shot inside, and this one sneaks by the goalie.
It looked like it was almost tapped in by somebody else, a deflection that sometimes you see in hockey. It almost kind of seems to be with they're tapping their goalie, saying, hey, there's nothing you can do about that. The shot was heading in one direction and then tapped in a second direction. So that makes the score Sun Devils 8. GCU 4. Has to go to the center field for another faceoff.
Got 1:15 on the clock here in the third. Kelsey Penta with the draw control.
This is real important. Last 1:15, Chris, is if GCU can get another goal, get it down to 3, then we could have a very interesting fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Even at 4.
Turnover there.
Far from an unsurmountable lead.
And they got the chance here. Nikki Terry able to come up with the ball. Right back over to Sun Devils. Mertzliff cuts across.
Shot and score for Emily Adams.
I think it's Claire Mertzliff.
Was it Claire Mercer?
Yep.
My mistake. Claire Mercer.
And I believe that's a hat trick for Mertzliff now.
Double checking as we speak, and yes, you are absolutely correct.
So now 2 players for the Sun Devils have a hat trick. Claire Mertzel and Taryn Gleese both have a hat trick for the Sun Devils. That makes it 9-3. 9-4, excuse me, 9-4. And that marks the end of the third quarter of play. Once again, the score, Sun Devils 9, Lopes 4.
All right, we showed the ASU fundraiser earlier, and then this one again for the GCU fans watching. If you'd like to support your Grand Canyon University Lopes, please use the QR code on screen or the link there, and you can head on over and make a donation. Both these club teams really depending on these donations to help support the upcoming season, travel and tournaments and all of that. So if you are a fan, support your team, go ahead and go onto that website now and make a donation.
It's really important, fans, this is very, very different than, say, NCAA teams that are supported by the school. Both of these schools really rely on your donations to be able to help pay for everything for these leagues. And the players and the coaches, everybody affiliated with the program, greatly appreciate your support. So, thank you to all the fans of Arizona State University and Grand Canyon University. We at South Mountain Sports are proud to be able to provide these games to you today and throughout the regular lacrosse season for games for Grand Canyon, for Arizona State, and for the University of Arizona. They just turned on the sprinklers on the far side there, Chris. How many players you think are going to say, okay, forget the bench and just run over to the sprinklers?
Well, and as you know, Craig, here in Arizona, that might sound like a good idea, but you got to be careful. Sometimes the water comes out of these pipes and it's scalding.
Oh, absolutely, because it's been sitting underground and it could be 150 degrees. That is for sure.
Yeah.
You never want to be there when they first turn on. Now, after they've been running for 5 minutes, that could be a different story.
Absolutely. You got to really be careful. Depends on how deep those pipes are buried, but if they're just a couple feet underground, that's not enough.
Anybody who's lived here for an extended period of time knows exactly what Chris is talking about. If you've turned on a garden hose and you suddenly say, oh, I'm just going to take a drink from the hose, you better watch that real fast. You may have just been taking the hottest cup of coffee you've ever had. So we're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Again, the score is 9-4. The Sun Devils have 2 players with a hat trick today.
Terry gets a nice draw win here for GCU and had the right look upfield, but just couldn't quite connect on the pass. So Wilson brings it back for the Sun Devils.
One of the things I've already seen, though, Chris, is, as the GCU coach said, she was going to try to move different players in different positions today. So you've noticed different people attacking, different people trying to be able to play up front, different people on the defense. So she's accomplishing that goal, moving some players around and finding out how they're going to do at different levels on the field. That's exactly what you'd want to be using a scrimmage for.
Pinto looking for that feed on the inside, but picked up by Milky. Oh, good
the
knockdown.
ball's deflected right out front.
Yeah, I think that was Mertzlift again on the defense there. Great job marking up on the goalie.
You have to be very careful with that ball, especially right in front of your goals. You never want to give up an easy one.
You see the official there making a little move to not touch the ball as it goes out of bounds.
Sun Devils doing a good job marking the ball back here in GCU territory, making it difficult even to get across midfield.
Yeah, GCU really having to work for this transition. ASU with the legal trail check. Penta with the speed again on the ground ball.
You know, it shows once again, Chris, that speed really is the main importance of this game. It's not the power, it's not the size, it's how fast and how well you can be able to control the ball. Especially in the women's game, you're not going to be able to use brute force just to be able to get to where you want to be able to go. But if you have speed, you can fly by people, you can get a huge advantage. That's trying to be shown right here with Kelsey Pinta.
Great look to Mertzliff, comes inside. And she's able to find the back of the net.
Absolutely.
You know, Pinta was driving in there, saw the defender sliding in, found open Mertzliff on the back end. Great luck.
That's Mertzliff's fourth of the game. They can score 10-4. You're starting to see a couple of the Sun Devils starting to smile. I think they're starting to feel it, Chris. This game is far from over, though. GCU has an awful lot of talent.
Yeah, we are downwind of the sprinklers here, Craig, and I think we're feeling that too. And it's a bit of a relief, you know. We're getting the wind kind of blowing a little mist our direction. I'm not complaining.
Well, if it'll give us a second wind, we know darn well it'll give the players a second wind, that's for sure. But for those that have been with us for all three games, we appreciate you being here with us on South Mountain Sports. The Sun Devils bringing it in front. Shot and a score by number 16. I know it's Marissa. I am desperately looking for her last name.
Marissa Zink. It might be Zinky.
Marissa Zinky. Fantastic. Marissa's an attacker, and she scores her first goal of the game, making it 11-4.
And I believe this is a new freshman on the team here, Craig, so that was quite possibly her first collegiate goal.
I would fully expect, especially with a 7-goal lead, that they're going to be playing an awful lot of freshmen now throughout the game. So they may have almost a complete lineup of freshmen coming out there soon. Because I am seeing a lot of numbers that I have not seen out on the field previously today, or at least not as often today.
Clock at 9:10.
Once again, a draw violation against ASU that's going to go to GCU. That's the third time that's happened today. May not necessarily be the same violation, but the third time that's happened. This ball rolls near the ASU net. Picked up by Kahan. She's had a strong second half. Just holding it, looking for the right opportunity.
Well, intercepted here. Big opportunity for the Lopes coming in. Shot deflected high over the crossbar.
Lopes still maintain possession. Oh, what a steal on the play. My goodness, and racing down the field is Caroline Kelly.
Oh, she's got Bree Gardner right on the doorstep. Nice assist shot. And a goal.
That was Bree Gardner, wasn't it?
That was off the stick of assist there. Feed from Caroline Kelly. Beautiful execution by the Sun Devils.
That's Bree's second goal of the game, making the score 12-4. But that play was absolutely set up by a fantastic interception by Caroline Kelly. I mean, she took that at midfield, went a good 30 to 40 yards herself before making that pass. Outstanding play.
Seven minutes on the clock here in the fourth.
Draw controlled by the Sun Devils. Number 11, Wesley Lesway. And a green card has been issued against Grand Canyon. That was against number 25 being sent off for a minute. The green card. Another foul has been called in the attack, and Brooke Gesda looking to be able to do something with it. Brooke takes a shot and scores.
Wow. What a beautiful shot that was.
Brooke's first goal of the game, making it 13-4.
Yeah, that was almost the lacrosse equivalent of a curveball, Craig. It was coming right at the goalie, and it seemed
really
like
was.
Almost be an easy save, and
I would call it a bender. You know, is that you could see it. That ball was not traveling straight. One of these days, I need one of the guys from the physics department, Chris, to be able to say, all right, so how can you make a ball curve like that? It's not supposed to be able to do that. But obviously it can.
so with 4:30 on the clock, looked like this one was set on an alternate possession awarded to the Lopes. Emma Adams with the ball.
I think from here, the Lopes really just want to continue to work on their game. Coach told us the score is not important. What they want to be able to do is work on different parts of their game. So here, they just want to be able to work on their offense, make sure that they're doing the right things, settle things down. I'm sure that they'd be thrilled if they're able to get a goal. The Sun Devils, though, obviously not just let them do it and won't make it easy.
Terry creating some space there, losing the cradle, and Terry comes in and able to, looks like she's going to be able to recover it. Maybe not. Actually still being fought for here. And after a
good
close
fight
one.
for the play by Kaya Nurse. You know, she was battling two different players and made him work hard to retain possession. Sun Devils remaining in good position, just keeping a defender between them and the goal at all times. The ball was turned over, taken by Wesley Westlake.
Finds the open Kelsey Penta coming across midfield.
Once she's at full speed, she's difficult to stop.
And you really got to give some credit there. Oh, and that one's out of bounds. Number 14, though, Alyssa Perez coming up to defend Penta there and was able to shut down that fast break. So great play by the Lopes defense.
Oh, Emma Lewis had the ball in front of the goal, just wasn't able to finish, but you were absolutely correct. Great stop by the Lopes defense on that play.
And Milky here, a couple nice saves, and now has a chance to clear it back out for the Lopes.
Absolutely. Again, it's important for the Lopes to be able to finish strong. They've had a really good day. They've been able to work on a number of things. So they've accomplished a lot of their objectives. Doesn't necessarily show on the scoreboard, but you definitely want to be able to finish strong. And this will give them an opportunity as a green card has been called against the Sun Devils. So that'll give the Lopes an advantage for the next minute. And Emma Adams has it in the middle of the field. They got about 20 seconds left in the penalty. Oh, nice pass out front. Nice shot there. Shot and a goal by number 35, Nicole Galea. I think that's her second goal of the game, Chris. The freshman from Yorba Linda, California.
Looks like they're going to call that game, so that'll be our final here, 12-5. ASU gets the win, but GCU hanging in there till the end, finishing strong. And I agree, Craig, great opportunity here for these teams to come out and really just find some positions for their players, work on their schemes, and opportunity to learn on things to work for before the regular season. Still several months, right? We're not going to see regular season games until February, March, and it's a lot of opportunity for these teams to continue to work here in the off season, getting ready for the upcoming season.
I think both teams accomplished their objectives today. Is the primary objective really for ASU was to involve their freshmen, make sure that they could develop some more teamwork, and really just had some fun together as a team. And for GCU, it was to be able to work on a variety of things. Again, try different players at different positions, have them do some things that they haven't done before. And that makes it difficult to be able to win against a good team like Arizona State. But what a great opportunity to be able to try some things and give players new experiences, new opportunities, because who knows where you might need somebody during the regular season or where they might excel at another position on the field. So I definitely believe that both teams accomplished what they look to be able to get done today.
Definitely. And shout out here to, again, new ASU head coach Jason Siddell coming out here, getting a nice win here at the end. and Coach Tracy Ramirez, and thanks to both teams for inviting us out here to bring these off-season games to you all. We certainly appreciate it. And again, please take a look at those donation links for both ASU and GCU in the chat. And we appreciate you all being with us here today with South Mountain Sports. It's been fun, and we'll be looking forward to bringing you several more of these college games here next season, and potentially a few more fall ball games as opportunity permits. But thanks again for tuning in, and this is Chris Ross.
Craig Stevens. Chris, it was a pleasure working with you again. Love an opportunity to be with you here on South Mountain Sports.
Thanks, everyone, and have a great evening.